Which Harley is the real Harley? Welcome back, Nerd Squad, it's me, Amanda. Today we'll be celebrating one of the most popular characters in all of comics and beyond as we count down the top 10 alternate versions of Harley Quinn. I personally love Harley, but I want to know how you feel about her character and her evolution throughout the years. Let us know in the comments. Number 10. DCU/DCEU. One of my all-time favorite versions of Harley Quinn, of course, comes to us from the DC live-action universe. This version is played by Margot Robbie, who I think I am quickly becoming a lifelong fan of. Every time I see a new film where Margot is involved, I pretty much love it. Okay, maybe except the first Suicide Squad film. But at the same time, I do still love parts of that film, with Margot's Harley Quinn being one of the main highlights for me. I think when it comes to Margot Robbie, just her commitment and love of the characters that she plays, no matter who they are, is what really draws me in. And her portrayal of Harley Quinn is no exception. She definitely gives it her all and really seems to love playing the character and being involved in a lot of the stunts, or at least as many of the stunts as production will allow her to participate in. She definitely also has stunt doubles for stunts, which are deemed, of course, too risky. That's very common in productions. Still, it's clear that Margot has fun as Harley, which also adds to the portrayal, as I feel like Harley Quinn is so often looking for the silver linings in her life and trying herself to have fun, even when she finds herself in a less than ideal situation. And this really rings true with Margot Robbie's portrayal. And friends, before we move on to our next spot on this list, if you love what we do here at Top 10 Nerd, why not consider subscribing? Click that subscribe button, do it if you haven't already, because if you have, then you'll be unsubscribed, so then don't click it. But if you haven't, click it. Number 9. Bizarro Harley. Bizarro Harley didn't last too long, only a single issue. But she was memorable to me when I read her, which is why I'm including her here. I like how she basically tries to tell her off her original self here, which would be her main continuity version at the time, the version from New Earth, that version of Harley Quinn. Bizarro Harley says to her that she might actually be the Bizarro version, based on her messed up relationship with the Joker and their history and how crazy she herself is. In the end though, Harley Quinn defeats Bizarro Harley Quinn by making her contradict her own Bizarro programming, thereby causing her to self-destruct. Hence why she's only around for an issue. But still, I like the concept. Number 8. Harley Sinn. Harley Sinn does not get enough love in the comics. She acts as kind of a foil for Harley Quinn, or at least has in the past. In the main continuity, I believe, although with Harley Quinn comics it's always hard to tell if we're really in the main continuity or not because things can get kinda weird and kinda meta. Sinn made peace with Harley. However, she recently then reappeared in the Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey comic, which I don't think is part of the main continuity because it's Black Label, but then again, it could be. And in that story, she was once again a villain to Harley, so she flipped back. Harley Sinn wanted to join up with the Harley Quinn's gang of Harleys initially, attempting to join her crew, but she didn't make the cut. Number 7. Gang of Harleys. Not only are there alternate versions of Harley that exist throughout the multiverse, but even within the main continuity itself, Harley Quinn actually has alternates. Remember how I mentioned that Harley Sinn once tried out for Harley Quinn's Gang of Harleys? Well, that is still a thing. Harley's Gang of Harleys is made up of other Harleys who Quinn herself handpicked. I gotta say, I love them, and I love that in the comics, this is her crew. I'm not up to date on the Harley Quinn animated series right now, I'm a little bit behind, I need to catch up, but as much as I love Harley's crew in that universe, and I really do, I hope we also get a little nod to the comic book main continuity crew she has and has had with the Gang of Harleys. The Gang of Harleys exists in the Prime Earth continuity, and currently the members include Carly Quinn, Hannah Quinn, Harvey Quinn, Harlem Quinn, Harley Queens, Bolly Quinn, and Coach. Number 6. Batman 66. Have you ever wondered what Harley Quinn would be like were she to have existed back in the 1966 Batman live-action series with Adam West? Well, wonder no longer. We have the answer to that in the form of a comic, and if you were wondering, yes, Harley Quinn does fit pretty perfectly in this world. She herself can be pretty silly, and the Batman 66 universe itself is also prone to being kinda goofy and over the top in the best of ways. So despite being created in the 90s in the animated Batman series, she actually feels right at home, I would say, in the comic based off of the live-action 60s series. Number 5. White Knight. White Knight Harley Quinn is another beast altogether. This version of the character actually has a pretty tragic backstory when it comes to a relationship with the Joker. Instead of him being a deranged criminal from the start, he actually is shown in a more sympathetic light, with it quickly becoming evident based on his and Harley's story that he was mentally unwell and simply just needed some help. After Jack, which is Joker's name here, returns to Harley, seemingly cured, Batman is the one who is more painted as the villain of the story in this reality. In the end though, Jack does give into the darkness and he ends up kinda being being swallowed up by it, leaving Harley alone with 2 babies on the way. What does she do after this loss? Well, she keeps fighting. In her most recent series, White Knight Presents Harley Quinn, she becomes a psychological consultant for the GCPD, helping them to investigate a string of murders as they attempt to catch the killer, with her doing profile work for them, and also kinda like, you know, just being a vigilante. Batman even makes her a suit. Oh, I love the fashion in that series. It looks so good. Number 4. Black Label Birds of Prey. I'm not really sure where this exists in terms of the DC universe or perhaps multiverse, but I'm just gonna assume, considering it feels like it's inspired by the Birds of Prey film, that it's set in its own universe. I was really excited for this Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey comic when it was first announced. Amanda Conner and Jim Palmiotti worked on the book, and I just love them together with Harley Quinn. They do such great work. This comic was also Black Label and therefore could afford to get more raunchy than the standard DC comic fare. Here, Harley Quinn sort of teams up with the Birds of Prey to take down the Joker. Well, basically the Birds of Prey want her to leave Gotham for her own safety and their own peace of mind, whereas Harley wants to team up and kick butt, so they're not really fully united in this comic, but that's what makes it more fun. The series itself is awesome, and Harley here is also hilarious and epic, but I gotta say it was slow in regards to its release schedule from issue to issue, so that was rough if you were reading it as it came out, but if you just go back and read it now, it's pretty fantastic. Number 3. Batman Arkham. This version of Harley Quinn comes to us not from a comic or a TV series or even a film, but instead from a video game, or rather a whole series of video games. The Batman Arkham games actually played as important a role to the way Harley is presented in live action animation and comics today as her first animated appearance did in regards to shaping her first comic book appearance. When we talk about alternate versions of Harley, she really is a character where her alternate selves actually help to further define and establish the nuances of her main continuity character. Harley's appearance in the Batman Arkham games made her even more sexy and powerful, I'd say, and also saw changes to her costume that definitely influenced her comic book and live action appearances. Also, you really can't go wrong with Tara Strong or Arlene Sorkin's performances when it comes to Harley in these games. Number 2. Batman the Animated Series. Technically, this version of Harley Quinn could be described as the original Harley Quinn, voiced by Arlene Sorkin. Batman the Animated Series is where Harley Quinn first appeared. She was originally intended to be more of a smaller role, a temporary girlfriend and accomplice to Mark Hamill's Joker. However, when we talk about alternates here on Top 10 Nerd, we're usually comparing different versions of the character to their mainstay comic book counterpart. As such, I'm including Sorkin's portrayal here, despite it being the first and possibly the most iconic appearance of this character. This is always the version folks most want to see me cosplay as, to be honest. I don't have that one yet though. I should do an animated series Harley though. I love Harley. You can never have too many Harley cosplays in my— I don't have that one yet though. I should do an animated series Harley though. I love Harley. You can never have too many Harley cosplays in my mind. Number 1. Harley Quinn the Animated Series. Harley Quinn the Animated Series is probably one of the coolest versions of Harley we have thus far. Also, her series just slays me. It is so much fun, which is also probably why I love this version of Harley Quinn so much and had to give her my top spot. Harley Quinn in the animated series is voiced by Kaley Cuoco. For a while, some believe there was actually beef between Cuoco and Margot Robbie, who plays the live action version of Harley on the big screen, but it turned out this was all fabricated and hearsay. Of course, there is always room for more Harleys, and I think these two ladies are both just happy to be playing the character. There's no real beef between them. The one thing Kaley does that differs drastically from how Harley is usually portrayed, or rather I guess that she doesn't do, is the accent. Kaley does not do Harley's classic Brooklyn accent. For some, this is actually a deal breaker, but I still love Kaley's work voicing the character myself. Also, how can you not love this show? It's so good. I know I'm not caught up, but I bet it's still good. I bet it's still amazing. Let me know in the comments. No spoilers, but if you're caught up, still loving it, bet you are. That's about it. Until next time, you stay nerdy, YouTube.